Okay, so it says that I am live. So wonderful. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's Wiola Diamondheart here. Yes, today we're going to do this beautiful life and gamers, architects of destiny. I love it. I love the name. It's like more and more and more. I can feel it, like how I am myself designing my own future and helping the others to actually to see that. But here today, I have this beautiful, amazing person, the Dominic Knight, and he is the mind architect. He did write the book and gamers, architects of destiny, and we're going to dive into it to explore what is it about and how to float with that flow of life, or be unapologetic, as some people say, and just go for it and see how it goes. But anyway, let's see that. Let's bring my beautiful speaker here. There we are. Hello. Good evening. Can I hear you? No, I mute you. Oh, let me see. Okay, I'm unmuted. Apologies. Here we are. One more time. Hello, my dear and my amazing person that you are, and expanded awareness and everything that comes with it. So welcome. Could you introduce yourself? Because I did say what I say, but when it comes from you, it has like completely different dimension, which I truly appreciate. So thank you for joining and sharing your precious time with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Well, I'm Dominic Knight, author of Endgamers, Architects of Destiny, which is all to do about re-engineering oneself to become the greatest version of who you truly want to be. A little bit about my background. I was based in Harley Street for over 17 years, specializing in clinical hypnotherapy, NLP, and everything to do with the mind, with human optimization. So that was for 17 years. The book Endgamers hit a couple of bestseller lists in the States last November. I'm presently an angel investor, and I also work with a number of individuals in a way to get them to be the number one in the world in their very perspective and respective fields. Currently an interesting one, which I haven't shared with Wiola yet, but I'm working with two guys. One is 21, one is 22. They're both self-taught traders. They learned from the internet. What makes them very interesting is one of them is now the 5th most highly profitable trader on the planet Earth. He learned trading off of YouTube. Now I'm working with him and with his partner, and we're looking at helping him reach number one most profitable trader in the world. So anyway, enough about me.
Oh, you have to talk about you, because it's like so, you are so inspirational, and everyone, it's actually learning so much from you through your own expertise and your own experiences. And as you just said, and congratulations, I did see your book over there in that New York, in this beautiful, the big poster, and I was like, yes, yes, yes. And on the previous urban retreat, you were talking about that, and it was such a wonderful. So yeah,
again, just shows the power of manifestation, really. I mean, you know, ordinarily, I'm though it took me about 5 years to write the book, I'm not a writer by training, and I'm what's called an autodidactic, which is like self-taught. So I train and learn all sorts of different things and disciplines. So when it came to the world of books, I thought, well, let's write this and write this properly. So in NLP, we have something called modeling, where you look at people who do something exceptionally well and you model that. In fact, if you look at, he passed away now, but Charlie Munger, who was the business partner of Warren Buffett, he said something really true. He said that in every single field, there's only like 2 or 3 books. That's it. Maybe you'll see tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands published, but there are only 2 or 3 books that have everything in there. So I always followed that type of philosophy. So when it came to writing a book, I looked at authors who done things exceptionally well, who hit bestseller lists. I read their works, and I looked at the works of books that didn't work as well. So I had an outlook of what it takes to put something together well. And then I visualized, I imagined, I affirmed it, and it came to fruition. It's just testimony to the power of the human mind. The key is to think about what you want, dwell on it, but don't get caught up in the details of how you're going to go about making it happen, because you don't know, and no one else does for that matter. The way you figure out how to do it is with intuitive and automatic impulses, where you feel drawn towards something and then you just start doing that. Before you know it, you're creating the life that you dream of.
That's really wonderful. And thinking about it, like, I think like most of my life, that's how I did it. And even though there is lots of fear, and still, it's like when I look like over those 52 years, and it's like, come on, it's like, why are you still in fear? It's like false evidence appearing real, or whatever it's called, and so on. And it's just like, but when you say yes to life, when I say yes to invitations, when I say yes to someone say, oh, come on, let's do something, I will say yes. And it just like, everything unfolds. But if I think about it like, oh, I'm not ready, I remember, and dealing with the regret as well. It's like, I had so many opportunities before that I was asked to do something, but I was like, no, because I can't do it. I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough wisdom. I don't have enough experience. And then, years later, I was like, how stupid that was. I would be somewhere else if I said yes that time. Now, if someone says like, I'll be the first one to jump.
It's in hindsight. It's human beings are their own worst enemy. Like the moment you think of something, the brain comes up with 1,000,001 reasons why you can't do it. And it's learning to navigate beyond that and take our attention off of those voices. But it takes time. But you've done it yourself. You took your attention off of that. You broke free. And that brings me on to a powerful question, right? And this is for anyone listening. If you think about it, what would you, and what is that thing that you truly desire, that if no one judged you and you were guaranteed of success, what would you do? And the reason that's such a powerful thing is like, what's that desire that you truly want? If no one judged you and it was inevitable, you'd be able to achieve it, what would it be? And whatever that answer is, what it does is it reveals how whenever we're about to do something, we're thinking, what will so-and-so think? Or what if I don't have the ability to do it? Or what if it fails? Let's get rid of all of that. Let's just look at those core things that you want, because they're packaged for you and they're given to you for a reason. And inherent within that desire is the mechanics for its fulfillment. It comes packaged with that. You cannot fail.
It's like, it's like thinking straight away. When you are thinking, when you are talking, I'm straight away like, having the visions and so on. And then again, it's like subconscious mind starts to work, and I feel that restriction, that fear coming. I'm starting to sweat like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like million of thoughts, like, over the second. And with all that manifestation and like how we are designing the future, the subconscious mind, it's like how to remove this whatever that is, that subconscious, that talk, those voices in the head, not to really stop you, but really break free. How do you do this?
Well, I mean, firstly, it's to recognize that the voices holding you back are not the real you. They're voices from parents, from religious figures, from teachers, from X, Y, and Z, from experiences you've had in the past. They were like, you acquired them and you picked them up along the way, along life. So what happens is those programs are running in the background. So when they appear, when you think, well, that's not me and I can't do that, but who is the real you? If you think about it, the way you started off was completely limitless. You believed anything was possible. You could try out, do anything. You know, as a child, if someone says, well, can you be an astronaut? Well, of course I can. I can do anything, right? So if you think about it, those negative programs and those ideas running in the background are not the real you. And here's the other thing. When those doubts appear, that's your human side. It's your human ideas from the past. Now, you have a power that's so far greater than yourself, and you're not aiming to achieve something consciously or logically with your human self. You're looking to achieve it with your higher dimensional self, or that greater aspect of yourself. Let me give you an example. If a woman becomes pregnant and she's going to have a child, she's not commanding her heart to beat and to direct the food to the you know, for the baby, and you're not doing any of that at all, right? It's doing it itself. So what happens is having faith that that intelligence that brought you to life, and that intelligence that's inherent within you, knows the right course of action to take. The only time that we start facing obstacles is when we become overly analytical and we're trying to figure things out and we're trying to force things to happen. That's all logic, right? That we're not in a flow state. Don't get me wrong, there are things that one must learn, but there must come a time where you take the stabilizers off and you ride the bike, right? Where you move in the direction of your highest aspirations unapologetically, like it's there for you. And you start moving in that direction, make it happen. It's having this absolute sense of certainty, of belief. And any obstacle that appears along the way, they become stepping stones. Maybe they're there for a reason to help you figure those things out to become stronger, right?
Yeah, it is. Coming to that moment when stepping stones or obstacles, as they say, like having been like around the people and so on, and we just came back from the journey, and whatever was happening. And I always say, like, you either have a lesson or you have a gift. And now at that age, I said, lessons, we get the lessons when we are at school.
Yeah.
And now what I receive are the gifts. And if you're still in the sort of cycle of suffering, cycle of complaining, cycle of like, oh, you should this, you should that, it's like, how can you turn this into gift? We all go through the different or difficult times, obviously, and they are less or more challenging. And but how can you find the goodness in that? How can you see that this process that we are going through right now is actually for your highest good? And at the end, like sometimes in the future, and hopefully soon enough, you will realize that was the gift for your expanded awareness to be, well, that this is actually the stepping stone to your better future.
Well, again, that comes down to having the sense of certainty and faith in the future that you haven't yet seen. And when the obstacles appear, it's like, well, how can I profit from this? Or what's good about this situation? Maybe the obstacle is highlighting an area that you really need to work on. So that's a good thing. You wouldn't develop that if it wasn't there. Or maybe it's there because, look, think of it this way. If one wants to become stronger, they have to exercise against resistance. The muscle needs to fail to become stronger. It's not real failure, but you're working around it. So sometimes you're doing things and, you're faced with obstacles or the illusion of a particular obstacle, but it could be the very thing, the very catalyst that will get you to your destination. And that's why having the vision of the ultimate or the end in mind, or what you're looking to achieve, as very clear. And you recognizing that whenever an obstacle appears, asking yourself, like, how can I profit from this? Like, what's good about this situation? What can I derive out of this? What is it that I'm not seeing? Think of it this way. If there's someone who's really unpleasant and you're at conflict with them and they say something hurtful to you, that hurtful thing might be true. A friend might not say that to you, but that person who you perceive as an enemy is giving you a truth in that moment, right? So you can work with that. So this is why it's not to get caught up or get too worried about how people address you or what they say. There might be truth to that you can work on. And if it isn't, and they're just being mean or spiteful, well, that's their problem. And that also teaches you to, to honor yourself, respect who you are without getting caught up in that drama, because that's not you, that's them.
Yes, exactly. But also, it's like everyone is in the right. I always say, like, well, those are your feelings, and I honor your feelings. You are true in your feelings. So whatever it is, it is. And like, for me, this it is like this, and I'm honest and true to myself and to what I'm seeing. And now, falling in love with all of that as it is, and seeing through the eyes of love and understanding that compassion, that yes, this is the gift, and that stepping stone for the brighter, better, and more wonderful future. And that's what I love it when you actually, this is your quote here: fall in love with your dream and let it consume your every thought.
Well, I mean, the thing is, when that happens, like, you're evoking a part of yourself that hones in on the outcome that you're after, and you enjoy the process of it. What you'll find when people do things exceptionally well, a world-class level, they're absolutely in love with what they're doing. There might be parts of it that are repetitive, that they say they don't like, but all in all, they're not trying to motivate themselves to do something that they're not interested in. Do you see? So it's like, it's an inspiration more than an external motivation. Like, motivation is someone externally trying to get you to do something. But when you're inspired, right, when you're in love, you don't have to remind yourself to dwell on that person that you're thinking about. You don't think, well, I need to think about them for 10 minutes today. You don't do that. It's just like natural, right? So, that's why I fall in love with your dream. Like, be faithful to that dream of yours.
Yeah, exactly. So would you guide us through, for example, the daily practice, or something that that you would do, or some inspiration for the others, like how to find out what is your dream, or what is your path, or what is your mission, as they say sometimes. I'm like, I don't have a mission. I follow my heart. Whenever something calls me, I go and I do it, and I try it out, and then if I love it, I come back and explore a little bit more, and yeah, and it's just so beautiful. But some people, they're lost in the information, or they're lost in the ways of suffering, or some other constrictions, and they don't know. They are so confused about life. So how someone can find that inspiration from within themselves, not given by mother, father, boyfriend, partner, husband, or boss.
Well, I mean, anything given from someone else, it's based like on their own value system. So what happens is, if you attempt to follow a life based on pleasing another person, be it your partner or a parent or a teacher or an X, Y, and Z, what happens, it ends up in resentment. It never works. It's impossible, right? Because you're going against your true nature. And here's the thing, if you look at clues early on in life, early on in childhood, you'll find the things that came easy, the things that you wanted to do, the things that you dwell upon and dream about. When people say, well, they don't quite know what to do now, it's because they don't believe it's possible. So they're hiding it. Whereas if you ask someone the question, which is really simple, where if you said to someone, well, let's say you have all the qualifications, all the money in the world, all the contacts in the world, education, absolutely everything there, to open any door, and there's absolutely no shame whatsoever, you're not ashamed of it, well, what is it that you'll do? And you'll find that, yeah, I will do X, Y, and Z. There'll be an outpouring. That outpouring is their natural calling. For some, it's not, well, I want to write a book, that's my calling. No, my calling is to inspire and empower millions of people to live their greatest, their greatest, highest ideals in the context of love and joy, right? So is that medium could be through building businesses, it could be from even myself making money or selling books, X, Y, and Z, or inspiring others. I'm fulfilling my life's mission in that because that's what I feel naturally called towards. Others might be an athletic endeavor. Another person might want to be the greatest mother in the world. When they looked at the memoirs of Jackie Kennedy, like she had wrote that she wanted to raise children, this before she had any that would be world leaders. She dreamt about it. That's what she wanted. That's what she done. So that's what she wanted to do. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You want to do that, do that. Do you see, like the time there's a problem is when you're going against your natural inkling. So if society is throwing everything at you that you should be working, so I say, well, maybe that's not your natural calling, right? So that there's a repression with that. So what you do is you follow that thing of the path of least resistance, right? What you want to do. And one of the things which I really hone in on within the book is that how, like, the frontal lobe, which is the genius part of the brain, it lights up when we do things that we're inspired by or the things that we love. Like, that's the genius faculty of the brain, right? So it's like, well, you're operating at a genius level when you're doing things you love. If you're doing things that you have no interest in, it activates anxiety, causes all sorts of mental health issues because you're trying to force yourself to do something you have no interest in, right? So a pill won't cure that, right? But your heart will.
Yes, and it is extraordinary. Like I was never fit to work from 9 to 5. It was like so. Yes, it's like being free in that way, that I'm not bound by boss or by this is that I have to do and so on. It gave me like enormous amount of freedom. At the same time, on the other hand, being a single mother with 2 kids and so on, it was like lots of tension and stress because, it's like, oh, I'm going to do that. But then again, it's like I could not be tamed in that way. Like whatever I did go was something always blah, blah, blah. So now I'm doing what I'm doing. And as I came back from that beautiful retreat and after those 3 weeks of journeying around and being here, being there with so many people, being responsible and leading them, when I came back and I knew that everyone is finally home, so I could take off my kind of shield of the mother, and I was like crushed for a day. And then I thought, okay, I have to go to my garden. This is my sanctuary. So I was there like for almost a week, like every day, like for 2, 3, 5 hours, doing some work, like not to think of anything. It's just like bowing into the earth and doing the, taking off all the weeds and stones and thinking about it's like whatever the bad thought, emotions or feeling I had, this is going. I just want to cleanse myself from everything and to create like such a wonderful, beautiful experience overall. And today I went to the shop and I just got a whole car of the little plants. So tomorrow I have a big party in the garden. I'll be planting them again and everything will be ready. So yes, this is my retreat. Like I found my way where I actually recover when I feel like connected to the elements, connected to the earth, and I just recharge. And then I got so much energy to do something else with the lightness, with that joy, with not like, oh my God, I have to do this and all the sweat. But it's like, okay, let's do this. It's like you can ask me anything when I'm fully aware and recovered. It's like I can do any time of the day or night. And this is so wonderful. And when I try to inspire the others, I'm like, you got to find your way where you recover, whether it's the beach or a bar or, I don't know, in the forest. You have to find your field.
Absolutely. And I'll add to that. If you look at that, see, that's authentic to you. Someone else, they might find an escape in a video game or in a bar or an X, Y, and Z. It's for them. Do you see? It's not right or wrong. It's what's authentic to that person. That's why it's like fitness. Someone might say, well, I need to go to the gym. Maybe you don't need to go to the gym. You could do yoga at home, or you could go jogging. It's not a matter of going somewhere and following some precise paradigm or method, right? Because it's like, you know, your body doesn't know what it's doing in the gym, whether you're pushing a weight or you're doing a push-up. It's just responding to that stimulus. That's why what happens is people, they get too caught up with the idea of, well, I need time to recharge, so I will watch Netflix. Well, maybe you don't need to watch Netflix. Maybe you do, but you do something which is authentic to you. So like for yourself, you found it in gardening, right? Connecting with nature, not thinking about anything, right?
I mean, trying not to think about anything.
Trying your best.
I'm trying my best. My mind is very busy, very busy cosmos or universe. And I'm thinking like, when that thing is going to shut up, you know? But anyway, it is what it is. I'm like, I've learned to deal with myself in certain ways and find my inner peace and the calmness in between the chaos. And I think like, you know, it's like, okay, it's like I'm quite good at it, like managing myself and yes, and from that space, when someone like very similar to my kind of structure comes and is in the place when I used to be before, I said like, you know what, like I know I've been there. This is what works for me. And I can kind of like inspire you to do the same. Not that you have to, but you can, which I found in your book. And usually when I read the book, I just like open up and something pops out. And this is like my way of doing it. Don't ask permission, just do it.
Well, of course, this is it. I mean, because we live so much in a world of like people looking for external validation, like from teachers, from certificates, from institutes, from parents, from partners, and this and that. It's like the more that you can get away from that, well, you don't need external validation. And if you look at breakthroughs in this world, it's people that didn't start off with certificates. They were game changers. They just like live on your own terms.
Oh, yeah.
Live the golden rule, treat people well, like inspire others. You know, you don't need permission to do anything.
Yes, but you know, it took years of going through courses, healers, shamans, certificates, and you name it, I've done it, till finally came to realize that the simplicity, and just do it.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, the answers are always simple. When I used to work with people in Harley Street, they would come to me with 1,000,001 like problems and diagnoses of X, Y, and Z and labels. And I just ask them simply, have you really applied yourself 100%? And it's like, they'll put, we've not done it. Have you applied yourself 100%? No, they haven't. They didn't give it all they've got. So here's the thing, like, you know, if you're being brutally honest and truthful with yourself, you know, the answers are always simple. Like someone wants to give up smoking. Well, if the cigarette's not in your mouth, you're not smoking. It's that simple. Like, so it's just a level of like one's belief and their faith in themselves and their follow through. If they do something consistently, the reason, let's say, for example, someone wouldn't quit smoking because they think they can't, they're afraid of how they'll feel without it. So they loop themselves, they have no confidence in their own ability, but the reality is they can do it. Like,
Yes.
it's like, yeah.
I remember the time when I was always the light smoker and the kind of like social one and blah blah blah, and was giving up and then coming back, giving up, coming back to that at any kind of like stressful situation. And when I remember, like I was standing like at the balcony and you know, smoking another one, drinking champagne and talking to higher consciousness, God, universe, whatever you name it. It's like, hey, listen, guy, you got to get this away from me because, you know, just like I don't like it anymore and it just doesn't suit me. And I think I've done my course here. So the only request that I have, take it away, but without the pain. And because I was like very energetic and really enthusiastic about things, but also hold lots of fire, so lots of anger, lots of frustration, and so on. So I was like, when that thing is going, So make sure that I remain calm and nice so I don't have to jump into anyone's throat. And so I had those conversations for some time. And then it was like, "Pah," and suddenly it was gone. But what changed, what I've seen, and I knew that this is for real and it's gone forever, that when I've seen the people smoking, especially ladies and nice girls, and I wasn't judgmental. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, thank you so much that I don't have to do this anymore. So it was like, it was like something shifted within me. Otherwise, like, oh, she's smoking, he's smoking, this is so unhealthy, blah, 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 and all the judgment, like usually I would do, and most of the people, but actually was turned into the gratitude, like, thank you so much that I don't have to do this anymore. And I also see, like, within the behaviors, it's like when there's something happening outside, especially when I was that before, and then again, instead of judgment, it comes like, oh my God, thank you so much that I don't have to do this or don't have to behave that anymore to get attention, to get recognition, to get such and such, whatever we say. So yes, like it comes to that, to me, and for me, with gratitude.
What an incredible learning that you discovered, because here's the thing, if you were resentful and you would put those people, if you belittled them or you minimize them, say, well, I'm not smoking, why, how are they smoking, then you'd have probably still be a smoker, right? Because it would, the judgment would have thrown it back at you. The non-judgment and the gratitude for not being in that situation was a real major part of it, and very, very insightful by you to have realized that. Because it's if we have a judgment towards something or a repression about something, it starts appearing in the human body. That's why the best way to start really clearing things is that place of non-judgment, recognizing, honoring everyone where they're at, seeing where they're at, but without minimizing or elevating that person. And that way you are actually giving them every opportunity to change, because they see you in a particular light, they see you've done something, they want to know about it, and then that might be the very catalyst that creates change in them.
It's quite a difficult thing to do, but with that right kind of approach and the knowledge, it's possible. It is possible. It is actually happening to come from that space of love and compassion for the people, and but that takes lots of designing in the mind, especially if I wasn't fit. I mean, that wasn't my kind of coding
Yeah,
before.
it's very difficult. I mean, the easiest way, which I found, which I learned from a mentor of mine, was that when you see someone doing something, let's say they're being really angry, how can that person, but you've been angry, you have to take ownership, because whatever you see in someone, you've displayed that at some point in your life. So when you go, okay, I've done that in the past, it kind of like, it diffuses it. You see, it comes back to truth, because you're being honest with yourself. You're recognizing that person, what they're doing, it may be undesirable, something that if it evokes any feeling within you, then you recognize, well, actually, I've done that in the past. You take ownership. But it also works in the opposite as well. If you see someone doing something exceptionally well, or they're super confident, you think, well, I've been confident in these areas. I've been really creative. So you're evoking that quality within you. And when you recognize something within someone that you don't like, you're actually neutralizing the emotional charge.
Mm-hmm.
I was once that. I used to be like that. So then we neutralize it. So there's non-judgment. When
Yeah.
there's non-judgment and there's more of this, like you walk through the world with unconditional love and acceptance and following what you truly want to do in life, right? Things work out a lot smoother.
Yeah, the end gamers, architects of destiny. What a path, Dominic. Oh my God, it's just like thinking of it. Like my heart's like full of gratitude that I was able to meet you, and that we could deliver together. All those beautiful live sessions, and at the urban retreat when you were doing your sessions, and with all the people there, it was like, whoa, wonderful. the alchemy happening and the people shifting their consciousness, shifting their awareness, like those mental blocks, they dissolve and like coming into that, oh my God, who is this guy? Like, what did he do? I said, like, yeah, this is amazing. And then, like, I'm so grateful, and I'm so thank you so much that you are coming again for our urban retreat.
Very much
And
so.
what participants can expect from you again, because you always bring something new, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. But can you share
It,
a little bit?
A little bit. Well, in this one, there's going to be a really powerful transformation taking place in every person in that audience. We're going to take a deep dive into the desires that we have and what we truly want to achieve. Because one of the things is this: if you say you want to manifest a cup of coffee, but that could happen anyway. Everyone's offering you coffee all day long. It's just the natural part of living. But real manifestation is when you set your sight on something where ordinarily for you to achieve it appears, well, this is extraordinary, or this is in the realm of impossible, or this just can't happen. That's real manifestation. Well, I've done that thing. So what we're going to do with the participants is they're going to be thinking about that thing which is not ordinarily accessible, that thing that they really want to have happen, and working with their psyche in such a way where they become the person that can receive that they become the person that can achieve the outcomes that they're after. We're going to be clearing up a lot of resistance points as well, because they're the only things that are really holding people back. But
I have so many resistant points. I see them, I feel them, and sometimes I'll just go like shake, shake, shake. I say, "Come on, get out of here," But it just like sometimes takes someone who can see you from different perspective,
yes.
and opens up that gate when there is that moment when we are driving a car. We have all the mirrors around, yet we have that black spot here, and we got to turn the head around to see that actually there is car next to you. And there is that exercise also. I remember from the yoga, one of my teacher, Guru Dharam, he gave it to me. He's like, "Oh, you see a lot, but there are some things just in front of your nose and you still don't see it." And I was like, how can you say that to me? Of course. But he said, "Look at that. This is the physical example." And he wrote, I think, the dot on the piece of paper, and I had to close one eye and then bring that card, that piece of paper close to my eyes, and I could not see it. And physically, you can see the dot. The same with the car. You can see it's there, but when it's so close to you, you just can't see it. So the people like you are like there, and I'm so grateful that I could be like guinea pig or the laboratory rat. I'm like first one for it, even though sometimes or most of the time it's so uncomfortable. Why is so uncomfortable to release that emotional or mental or energetical block?
Well, I mean, because it holds part of one's identity, as in, and they feel that without it they'll be exposed. Or what if I get rid of this and I still don't get there? Do you see? So it brings up all sorts of things. It's a real test of faith. But here's the thing, ultimately, like when you step outside of yourself and those resistance points and those excuses and those voices, it's just like the grass really is greener on the other side. Like things really do work out wonderfully. Why not have it all? I was speaking with a friend of mine a little while back, and she's an aspiring entrepreneur in New York, and people were saying to her all sorts of things like, well, you can be an inspiring and aspiring entrepreneur, but you can't have a relationship. Or you can, and I said to her very simply, no, you can have it all. Why not? What stops you? A friend of mine who was she's recently got married and high-powered job, and she said, but if I have a baby, then I'll have to cut out everything. No, why not have it all? What is it? Like, it's not an either or. You can either have this or that. Why not have it all? The
I
only
am.
thing is it's excuses, like, and it's other people's voices. The reality is you can do it all. Why not?
Now I want it all. Before, like a few years back, if someone would tell me that you can have it all, I would say no, I can't because of this or that. All the scenarios were there. And sometimes I think like, oh my God, why it took me so long, like half of the century, to come to the wisdom that I can have it all. It's like, my God. It's like I said to my children, I said, you can have it all. Like, remember, you can have it all. Just don't look at me. It's like, don't take me as an example because I wasted so much time on being in suffering and blaming everybody for everything and blah, 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 all the stories. It's like, don't look at me. Just do it now. Do it now.
But
It's like
now
your
this
time
is
is
the
now.
thing.
So yes, look at that. We have the beautiful comment by Lina. Oh, you people are so passionate about what you do, what you talk about, what you translate into the world. Listening to you two is like listening to a heart and mind brain conversation. You are the real game changers in people's lives.
Very, very
So,
beautiful comment. Thank you.
so grateful for the opportunity to listen to you. Thank you. Thank you, Lina. Yeah, she's amazing. She does the rise and shine yoga every day, and she's there so beautiful and so sparkling and so kind. And the way she speaks always brings the tears to my eyes. So lovely. Here, when was the last time you felt you could do anything? Those are your words, and this is the title for our actually life.
Amazing. You know, in all the years of working with people, I've taken people who've got to #1 in the world at what they do. And that's why I've seen it firsthand. I know it's possible. There's formulas to this, right? There really is. And it's easier than you think. But it's just capturing that feeling, stabilizing it so it becomes you. So you walk through life, you live a charmed life, you do the things you want, enjoy life fully and thoroughly. We only get one shot at it.
Mm-hmm. When I read that, it's like, when was the last time you felt you can do anything? It's like, I think like, oh my God, all the time. But then, I mean, now, but then it's like also some part of the fear comes in, which I don't like. But I was like, okay, just get out. It's like you are, you the guest, you are unwanted. I don't want that fear to stop me. I was like, it's like all of that, and there's still that fear is happening because of that kind of unknown future. But at the same time, I don't think that fear is about the unknown future. It's about those past opportunities that I did not take. That's what I think. What do you think?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. There's elements of like uncertainty about the future. So that's why people they're sometimes afraid. But here's the thing. All your hopes, dreams, desires, aspirations, and the greatest things that are ever going to happen to you are in the future. So sometimes like thinking in your
This is
mind,
my new
like,
mantra. Keep repeating. I'm going to have as my ringtone.
it'll be like this mantra of like, what if things work out for me more wonderfully than I ever imagined? Or like, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know it's going to be really, really good. So it's just like you're moving in that direction. You're stabilizing good feelings. You're having great expectations for yourself and everyone around you. And then when the fear appears, once again, it's there, it's attempting to protect you. So it's like, it's recognizing that, this life is a synthesis of complementary opposites. You can't have an up without a down, an in without an out, a light without a dark. So as we move forward, there'll be fears or X, Y, and Z, but then we move in spite of that, we become stronger.
Yes, and I also think like what's very important is it's like the people around you, that they like really blow the wind into your wings, and they celebrate with you your successes. You kind of get rid of the backstabbers, the jealous ones and stuff, like, just like you got to clean, like I cleaned the garden. I was like, okay, you go, thank you for for the presents, but now is your time, it's done. And combat consciously, like, thank you for such and such and such for the journey, that it was there the same way I speak with my fears or
Yes.
concerns or anxiety. I was like, listen, I can see you, like my friend. I'm not. It's like, let's sit together. Let's talk. But your time, it's done now. It's the time to move on, and I want to move on. So bless you on your beautiful path, and I bless my path, and let's go. Let's separate and still have that love towards each other, but not necessarily walking together.
Yeah, I mean, and that as well, that's a proper act of love, because by doing that, it may shake that person's very foundation into becoming a better person. It also teaches you, compassion, unconditional love, acceptance of how people are, recognizing that person is playing a particular role in life. That's who they are. So it teaches you non-judgment, which is really powerful. But then you always align yourself with with people that inspire you, that are there for you, that want to see you fly. That's what it is. But when we're amongst, because the brainwave frequencies, they literally synchronize with one another. And that's why when you're with a good group of people, you feel that sense of inspiration. It moves you forward. That's why company, like ecology, who you're around, what you consume with your eyes, what you hear, what you read, your body digests it all. And that's why, like, just watch good, see good things. If there's something happening which isn't good and you want to donate some money or help out, do it by all means. But do not inundate yourself with any type of, destructive messages whatsoever. It will never help you and never help anyone.
Yeah, I know. It's very important. Like, I think when we meet during, even now in May, during our urban retreat, we have those beautiful speakers coming together with their own modalities that bring that inspiration to the people, bring that the new way of looking at things, expanding that consciousness. And why it's so important to do it, because yes, of course, it's like personal touch, it's so important, but also when we meet as a group of people, what happens over there, why is so much more powerful.
Well, the reason it's so powerful, it's if you took if you took 1,000 pendulums and you start swinging them, they're kind of like, they're incoherent. Then eventually they become all coherent. They all move in the same rhythm. And that's why when you have a collective group of people and they're actually there together, the energy synchronizes. That's why the intents are so much more powerful. And the energy that's broadcast into the universe and reflected right back, all that good energy, it's real. And that's why, being amongst a group of people who are looking to not only improve themselves, but help improvement with everyone around the world, there's something so powerful in that.
And it's so beautiful. It's like, I really love those moments, especially like I remember the last time in the previous one when you did your fabulous meditation, like guiding us from to that, architecting our destiny, and like seeing ourselves in the future self. It was such a powerful moment, that shift. It's like, even now when you are talking, I think like, oh my God, we got to drink together, like, like right now, I'll have the best champagne. I just have this, like, yeah, the celebration is already here. It's like, yeah, I can do anything. All of that joy and the lightness, all the fear has gone. And Sam might be a little bit complaining, though, what if, but it's like, okay. It's like, yes, the celebration, coming into the lightness. Because the more light we are, there's more vitality and there's more strength and the power to actually say yes.
There really is. That there really is. So on at the retreat on the Sunday the 11th, it's just like you're going to utilize that as a real launching pad, right? To just launch yourself, catapult yourself to that success that you truly want. Become that person. Like one of the things that I mentioned in the book about change at the speed of thought, it doesn't have to be long, right? There's just going to be some moment in your life where things really start taking off. Like, let it be now. Like, why wait?
Why wait?
Your
Exactly.
brain learns quickly, right?
Planting the seed for a dream.
Mm.
Planting a seed for the dream. I remember, like, I heard once, and I started to repeat it because I truly like it. And I was like, oh my God, this is true. Our dreams are the memories from the future.
That's beautiful.
Yes, our dreams are the memories of the future. Yes,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
like it's already there. And as you said, the end gamers, how to manifest from that, from the completion. It's like
yes.
moving backwards. Yes.
And one of the things I said in the book was like remembering the future, predicting the past. Because what's really interesting is that a lot of people's past memories, they're all fabrications, they're one-sided things. So like have an absolute sense of certainty of an incredible future, like live into that, become that person in the present moment and start doubting the past. You know, why not?
Yes. So we're all set for the fabulous time, the time which is now. We now already feeling like what's in front of us, and it's just being in that wave of fabulousness. I
Yes.
don't know the word, but it's just like I have it. It's like it's just there. It is here. It's like I am the source of everything, and I have a choice. Like better to make a conscious choice. Like this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. This is with whom I want to be around, and then such and such and such, and having that future vision. But the feeling is right now.
The feeling is right now, absolutely, because the feeling is a really powerful signal. It's a frequency, and then you're aligning yourself with that future outcome, right?
Mm.
Broadcasting it, and that's why like people, places, circumstances start to appear, but you know that will guide you towards the realization of that dream. But the only thing that gets in the way are those resistance points, the doubts, the hesitations, the fears, and this and that. But when you start clearing them away, then you move forward with inspired action. You feel a
Inspired
certain
action.
impulse,
Mhm.
yeah, you feel an impulse towards something. Someone opens a conversation, and before you know it, it builds into something.
Wonderful. Yes. Oh my God. It's like we've talked on for almost an hour again.
Okay.
It just flows. And I could talk for more and more and more. I feel like I'm already drunk on the happiness and on that manifestation. It was like, I know it's already here anyway. So just like, it's like such a wonderful energy and feeling. And yes. And it's just like, just say yes.
This is it.
Yes, just like yes, thank you, or just say thank you. I mean, I'm talking to myself, yes, and to everyone who may feel inspired, and yes, to release all that dark cape of suffering and the limiting beliefs, and
Yeah,
to find the people that are very inspirational and like they achieved something, so you can actually learn from them instead of going to the friends and complain blah 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 and do all this. It's so much nicer to actually look at the brighter people. It's like, oh, and instead of being jealous, I that was my thing as well. Like I was always very jealous, but it just recently, because I was like looking at this like, why what the fuck I'm jealous of, like why? I was like, come on, it's like, grow up. Like, why am I jealous? I have everything, whatever I wanted. I mean, almost. But it's like, why? And then it was like that, bam, sparkle. It's like, actually, I'm not jealous of that person. I was before, but now that person to me is inspirational. I do get inspirations. And because I realized that because of that person, actually I've done so much
of course.
because he or she was doing better than I was, what I thought in my way of perception. And it was just like, oh, if he or she can do it, why can't I? And slowly, in the different ways, I was like, slowly climbing that those stepping stones, slowly, and here I am. And yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's so easy. It's the same energy. Jealousy and inspiration comes from the same source. It's the inner fire. So you need to know how to play with that inner fire.
You see, because now it takes a maturity to recognize that and see that, but you'll see that it served you in that moment. And here's the thing, there's no shame in that, because as human beings, we have 4,000 traits that all universally shared. So everyone's experienced that in one way or another. But when you rise above that, you recognize, you integrate it, you utilize it, then you recognize the inspiration that came from it. Do you see that's the functioning of someone who's like fully integrated?
It was hard work. I
It
mean,
was.
still it is.
Mm.
But actually, some doors have opened, and when the feeling comes, I was like, hey, there's nothing to be jealous about. It's just like, take it as an inspiration and see how he, she, they doing. And there may be some kind of stepping stones for you too.
For the beautiful future.
Yeah, exactly. Wonderful. Dominic, thank you so much for your time, for your inspirations, for your guidance, for your energy, for your insights. And that book, The End Gamers, Architects of Destiny. And it's like, I also think, like, with this title, like Architects of Destiny and End Gamers, it's taking responsibility for our own life.
Absolutely.
And most of us, I mean, like, I never wanted to be responsible for, I always wanted someone to save me. But the God had different, or whatever, the universe had different scenario for me. I always had to do on my own. So I got to be responsible, even though I didn't want to. But anyway, it's just like, at the end of the day, we are all responsible for our own lives, and stepping into that. And we also say responsible is ability to respond accordingly.
That certainly is.
So yes, oh my God, so many gifts received. Thank you so much, and I am so looking forward to our urban retreat where we are here on May 11th of May, which is Sunday. From 10 till 6, we're going to have like loads of different beautiful modalities and people. But I'm so looking forward to your session, as always, and all your stories that you share, insights, and of course that guided meditation that is also inspirational for many. So for the people, if they would love to find you, how they can find you?
My Instagram, night_mentoring, and also my website, which is nightmentoring.com. I can be found on there.
Wonderful. And also, the book is here. I will post that under this video. So yes, here we are. Architect your life with ease, with light, with love, compassion, and joy. And yes, and let's have the fabulous life. I'm so looking forward to that urban retreat, and yes, and to that better, nicer, lighter future that is already here.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Wiola, and look forward to seeing you and everyone on the 11th.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Here we are. Yes, beautiful people. So that was the beautiful conversation with Mr. Dominic Knight, and I hope you all enjoyed. If you have any questions, write them under this video. I will later post that to the YouTube so you can share with everybody. And please join us on our urban retreat. And bring your friends, because the more the merrier. We are here to manifest our future, and yes, just say yes. And gamers, architects of destiny, we are. Thank you so much.